The Bermuda Triangle is the infamous place where ships and airplanes get to play an endless game of hide and seek. But if you thought that place of the sea was bizarre, just wait to see these other intriguing places. There are places on Earth that are even more peculiar, unsettling, and perplexing. From a ghostly hitchhiker encountered by many in Massachusetts, to Soviet Navy soldiers seeing 10-foot-tall bizarre creatures standing 160 feet below Siberia's Lake Baikal, let's explore 10 of the most bizarre locations that hold even greater mystery than the Bermuda Triangle. Number 10. Numerous sailors and travelers have been terrified by the fabled Bermuda Triangle since the early 1950s. In this large tropical region of the Northwest Atlantic Ocean, almost 50 ships and 20 aircraft are reported to have inexplicably disappeared. While the more extreme theories contend that alien abductions from the lost city of Atlantis are to blame for these disappearances, the majority of reliable sources contend that pilot error during inclement weather is to blame. Additionally, this area of the world experiences particularly high levels of air and sea traffic, so it makes sense that the frequency of incidents there would be relatively high. Though these explanations may hold true for the Bermuda Triangle, historians have been puzzled for decades by an even more dangerous triangle. The Dragon's Triangle is a huge area in the Pacific Ocean south of Tokyo, where hundreds of ships have allegedly gone missing since the 1940s. According to one triangle tale, the Japanese government sent a sizable research ship into the region in 1955 to look into these disappearances, but the ship sailed straight into oblivion and was never seen again. Even though the Dragon's Triangle is frequently thought of as a paranormal location, it turns out that a large number of missing ships were really small, weak fishing boats without radios. Furthermore, the government research vessel that went missing was really dispatched to look into a notable underwater volcano in the Dragon's Triangle region. Contrary to what one book claimed, the ship sank because of that same volcano's eruption in 1952 rather than 1955. However, there's no denying that this oceanic stretch, also referred to as the Devil's Sea, is extremely hazardous. This seafloor contains an exceptionally high concentration of methane deposits and underwater volcanoes, which have the potential to literally explode underwater and alter boats' flotation, causing them to sink. Number 9. Tucked away in the Okanagan Valley of British Columbia, Canada, is a natural wonder that is genuinely unmatched. Spotted Lake's water dries up in the summer, revealing a secret pattern of hundreds of colored pools resembling a leopard. This lake is frequently referred to as the most mystical location in Canada, even if the most of our candidates for the Bermuda Triangle mystery are well known for their eerie attributes. In fact, the native Okanagan tribe regards it as a spiritually hallowed site, with each vibrant circle thought to have unique healing qualities. It turns out that, unlike most lakes, Spotted Lake is a saline endorheic lake, meaning that its water doesn't drain into a river or creek. Salts and minerals are drawn into the lake by trickling precipitation and snowmelt from the nearby hills, where they build up over ages. Every summer, the lake's water evaporates, leaving behind paths made of solidified salts that connect the shallow pools filled with minerals. Each distinct pool's multicolored appearance is a result of the various mineral concentrations present, which can include magnesium, sodium, and calcium sulfate. The Spotted Lake is associated with spiritual ideas that evoke mystery. Nonetheless, the inclusion of a scientific explanation heightens the experience of wonder. Number 8. The Nevada Triangle, which stretches across 25,000 square miles of rocky desert between Reno, Fresno, and Las Vegas, is commonly recognized as the mountainous equivalent of the Bermuda Triangle, which is known for missing planes. In fact, during the last 60 years, anything from 202,000 aircraft have mysteriously disappeared within the Nevada Triangle, according to various news sources. Many of these are still undiscovered. Steve Fawcett, the record-setting aviator, owned one such plane that went missing but ultimately turned up. Somewhere in the middle of the Nevada Triangle, near the Sierra Mountains, Fawcett and his aircraft vanished inexplicably in September 2007. Given that Fawcett was the first person to fly solo around the world nonstop in 2005 and had a ton of flying experience, his Nevada Triangle flight ought to have been easy. It wasn't until a year later that a hiker found Fawcett's ID card, and the crash site was located a few days later that officials discovered any evidence of Fawcett and his jet. Fawcett, however, never made it back home. Many have attempted to explain the amount of disappearances reported in the Nevada Triangle, despite the fact that human or system error is frequently the cause of aviation mishaps. Given that the famed Area 51 is located on the eastern edge of the Nevada Triangle, some of the most extreme ideas contend that UFOs are responsible for these disappearances. Although the region's mountains and deserts provide for a great backdrop for a story like this, there are a few more logical theories that could help to explain the enigma surrounding the Nevada Triangle. The area has harsh weather and topography, with powerful Pacific winds combining with high mountain peaks to produce downdrafts that may literally tear aircraft out of the sky. Furthermore, it should come as no surprise that a large number of accident sites remain undiscovered given the Nevada Triangle's enormous remoteness and incredibly uneven terrain. Additionally, the higher-end figure of 2,000 disappearances seems to be the product of a greatly overblown story that is not supported by any real data. Number 7. People who are curious about the stranger aspects of Earth have been captivated by the Mapimi Silent Zone, also known as the Zone of Silence, for many years. It is said that this 30-mile-wide area of desert in Durango, Mexico, has mysterious electromagnetic qualities comparable to those that are said to exist in the actual Bermuda Triangle. There are claims that the location has blocked signals from all modern communication devices, including cell phones and plane radios, and caused compasses to spin uncontrollably. Stranger flying items have been found in this odd zone, despite your assumption that plane disasters would occur frequently here. When an American missile fired in 1970 toward a testing range, it aired 400 miles from its intended path and crashed squarely in the center of the Zone of Silence. Although the exact cause of the rocket's extreme detour remains unknown, some theories suggest that it was drawn into the zone by an unusual magnetic force. A significant concentration of the mineral magnetite in the nearby granite or possibly other magnetic materials left by meteorites, according to some dedicated locals, could be the source of magnetic anomalies such as these in the area. In fact, there are many meteorites that are known to have fallen in the zone during the 20th century, two of which strangely impacted the same ranch nearly 2 decades apart. Locals claim that the Zone of Silence is even more anomalous, with strangely altered species like bright purple cacti contributing to the area's otherworldly atmosphere. Having said that, there are a few things to think about. First off, no problems with their devices or composites were reported by a number of scientific groups who were bold enough to enter the Zone of Silence. There's also the claim that defective hardware or human error may have caused the notorious American missile to go berserk. The so-called mutant purple cacti are actually just a species of purple prickly pears that have evolved to change color naturally in response to environmental stressors, including temperature fluctuations and dehydration. Number 6. The Mekong River, which flows through Thailand's Phon Phisai district, doesn't look unusual at first glance, but if you happen to visit at the appropriate time, you'll discover that it has a remarkable secret that has long fascinated both residents and visitors. These bizarre basketball-sized objects, called Naga Fireballs, appear from the river's water in late October each year. Though they resemble fireworks, these ethereal lights shoot hundreds of feet into the sky before vanishing in an instant. Their appearance is truly mysterious. The fireballs are said to originate from the breath of Naga, or gigantic serpents, according to local tradition. It is believed that these legendary creatures sleep deep within the murky river and only come to life in late October to mark the conclusion of Buddhist Lent with their flaming breath. Some scientists speculate that the fire orbs are probably methane or phosphine bubbles formed by decomposing debris on the riverbank, as these fabled monsters have never been seen in person. There's a small risk that the methane will spontaneously ignite and soar high into the skies before abruptly burning out when it comes into touch with oxygen in the air above the water's surface. While critics point out the statistical impossibility of such often occurring ignitions and wonder how it's conceivable that the fireballs reappear at this precise time of year, you might believe that a natural explanation makes the most sense. Another idea is that the Naga Fireballs' oddly exact timing suggests the entire event is a well-planned deception, possibly fired by flare guns or tracer bullets to boost tourism. Some people, however, don't think either hypothesis adequately accounts for the fireball's existence and motion. Number 5. The Bridgewater Triangle, which stretches across 200 square miles in southeast Massachusetts and includes the towns of Abington, Freetown, and Rehoboth, is our next major candidate for Bermuda. Although most people identify the Bermuda Triangle with disappearances, there are many horrifying appearance stories related with this puzzling polygon. Numerous accounts of spectral things, unexplained flying objects, sightings of strange creatures and humanoids, and even ritualistic animal sacrifice have been reported from this area. Most famously, for many years, people who drive at night on Route 44 have reported seeing an enigmatic figure on the side of the road. Strangely, the description of this mysterious man is almost always the same: long red hair, a large, bushy beard, boots, dirty pants, and a red flannel shirt. Reports have surfaced of drivers picking him up after spotting him wandering on the road, only for the enigmatic redhead to hop into the back seat and give the driver a silent, soulless look. He never says anything, but on occasion he laughs uncontrollably until the driver makes a threat to pull over, at which point he abruptly disappears in front of their very eyes. Even more horrifying than the hitchhiker stories from Bridgewater may be the rationale for these common visions. Nighttime driving can induce a hypnotic state in drivers, similar to the moments before sleep, due to the combination of darkness and repeated landscape. This state can result in hallucinations. Although the reason why so many drivers in the Bridgewater Triangle tend to have the same hallucinations is unclear, there may be a solution other than the likelihood of mass hoaxes. Drivers who are in a hypnotic state and have heard the story of the red-headed hitchhiker on Route 44 may have hallucinations of his appearance because of their expectations, nearly creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. Despite the seeming impossibility, our brains have a scientifically proven tendency to fill in visual gaps when we are in complete darkness. Number 4. Hoya Bachu Forest, located in the Transylvanian region of northern Romania, is a unique forest that is sure to chill you to the bone with its string of unexplained disappearances. It is considered the world's most haunted forest and is filled with paranormal stories by those who believe in the paranormal. According to a local myth, a shepherd and his 200 sheep mysteriously disappeared while strolling through the woodland and were never seen again. It is also reported that a 5-year-old girl vanished in these woods and then reappeared 5 years later, looking the same and seemingly ageless. Naturally, there is minimal proof that the incidents depicted in these tales actually occurred. Romanian newspaper archives do not contain any accounts of disappearances in the forest. Even still, visitors visiting the woodland continue to frequently describe experiencing unexpected discomfort, fear, and a sense of being watched. In the vicinity of this eerie circular clearing, where trees seem to be refusing for some reason to grow, these symptoms appear to be more severe. Could something extraterrestrial be happening here? According to reports, scientists have examined the soil and discovered no chemical anomalies to explain it. In fact, natural meadow patches within woodlands are rather widespread, despite their peculiar look. This is typically due to weak bedrock that prevents trees from establishing roots. Additionally, it's not unexpected that many of the trees that do flourish in Hoya Bachu have peculiar skeleton-like and distorted appearances. Visitors frequently report feeling a little uneasy and unnerved. Number 3. In addition to being the biggest, deepest, and oldest freshwater lake in the world, Lake Baikal in southern Siberia may also be the strangest. First off, according to official Russian state news, 7 Soviet Navy divers were training 160 feet below the surface of Lake Baikal in 1982 when they came across a group of 10 feet tall extraterrestrial humanoids. The fact that they are alleged to have been wearing spherical helmets and silver wetsuits makes them even more bizarre. one of the creatures inexplicably produced a strong upsurge that pushed the divers reeling back towards the surface when they attempted to catch one in a net. Apart from the official status of the source, there is no actual evidence to back up this mythical tale, and none of the many underwater research operations that have been carried out at Lake Baikal since have found anything even somewhat comparable down in its icy depths. There are other very real abnormalities in Lake Baikal, even though these aquatic silver aliens appear a little unbelievable. Every winter, across the frozen surface of the lake, these shimmering 50-foot turquoise sculptures appear out of nowhere. Even more bizarrely, these unsettling white discs made of solid ice at Lake Baikal's western side seem to stack themselves upward from the dark depths. Many people might come to the conclusion that the lake does really possess supernatural qualities after seeing these enigmatic creations. However, these gem-like chunks are actually naturally occurring ice hummocks that are being forced out of the lake by the unequal pressure in the densely packed ice below. These saucer-shaped bubbles are actually frozen pockets of methane that have been liberated from a lake bed cushion of wet silt. Therefore, even without the aliens, Lake Baikal is still a really amazing and singular natural wonder to see, and we can't ignore the fact that the lake is a mile deep at its lowest point. And because of its extreme depth, this place will always be shrouded in a terrifying feeling of mystery, because nobody can really know what is under those shadowy depths. Number 2. It's possible that you've heard of the enigmatic Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, but you might not be aware that an even older and larger ancient pyramid is thought to be buried in Indonesia. Although Mount SadahHurp in western Java is now utilized for farming, the mountain's shape is suspiciously exact in the form of a pyramid. The most daring theories argue that treasure from a long-lost ancient civilization is hidden beneath the grass cover in an extraordinarily old man-made stone pyramid. The rock of Mount SadahHurp has been carbon dated to be approximately 6,500 years old, whereas the Great Pyramid of Giza was built about 4,500 years ago. So, how could a prehistoric society using simple stone tools have constructed such a magnificent building? However, aside from the mountain's seemingly artificial aspect, there is very little credible proof that the peak was created by brilliant ancient architects. Rather, Mount SadahHurp is thought by scientists to be a volcanic cinder cone that developed spontaneously into a smooth-sloped structure by the accumulation of hardened lava. Unfortunately, there isn't much information available beyond this notion because earlier studies on the mountain disturbed the nearby farms. As a result, farmers started to object to more exploration, which is why more research has been put on hold. Number 1. Labomba, also known as Shanay Timpishka, is a mysterious river that flows through the Puerto Inca province of Peru, deep within the Amazon jungle. This 4-mile stretch of the Amazon River has an odd temperature range of 113 to 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot enough to burn someone to the 3rd degree in just 1 second of contact. Although the name Shanay Timpishka means boiled by the heat of the sun, its actual source of heat is a mystery. As you can see, such hot spots with boiling water are typically found close to volcanoes and heated by magmatic systems. A prime example is the Chinese Spring, which is located in the magmatic hotspot of Wyoming's Yellowstone National Park. This geyser's extremely vivid orange hue is the result of bacteria called thermophiles, which prefer warm temperatures. Any pilot would be apprehensive to fly over what almost seems like an interdimensional portal when combined with the boiling pool's striking blue color. However, Labomba is not as colorful as the Chinese Spring, nor is it situated in a magmatic region. In actuality, Cardihuaydaso, the closest volcano to Labomba, is located more than 400 miles apart. The best explanation available is that rainwater penetrates far further upstream, where it is heated by rocks that are just on the verge of the Earth's mantle. It then resurfaces through earth cracks and joins the river. Which of these mysterious locations surprised you the most? Are there places that are more mysterious than the Bermuda Triangle, in your opinion? Let us know in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.